The morning sun poured across the polished marble floors of Jefferson Heights Elementary, catching on the scuffed sneakers of a man who stood awkwardly near the entrance. Parents in pressed suits and tailored dresses brushed past him without a second glance, until one of them did. Her eyes traveled from his faded denim jacket to the small hand he was holding, and her lips tightened. Within seconds, the words cut through the bright, cheerful air like a blade. He was told he didn't belong there. Before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and judging people by their hearts instead of their appearances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Life Spark Stories. Your support keeps these powerful stories alive. Rowan Cade tightened his grip on his 6-year-old daughter Myra's hand. The morning air still smelled of freshly cut grass and chalk dust from the playground. He had woken before dawn to braid Myra's dark curls, watching YouTube tutorials until he finally got it right. He had ironed her tiny blue uniform twice to make sure there wasn't a single crease. Today was Parents' Recognition Day, and Myra had begged him to come. He had promised he wouldn't miss it. Rowan was used to the looks. At 38, with broad shoulders and a jagged scar tracing from his temple down toward his jaw, he looked more intimidating than most of the polished parents around him. His hands were rough, his posture straight as steel from years of discipline. After his wife's passing 3 years earlier, he had learned how to pack lunches, help with homework, and sit through tea parties with plastic cups and invisible tea. But no matter how hard he tried, some people only saw what was on the outside. Inside the auditorium, sunlight streamed through tall windows, illuminating rows of folding chairs and colorful posters made by children. Myra beamed as she led him to her seat. Rowan felt every whisper like a weight pressing on his chest. He heard someone murmur that maybe he was staff. Another wondered if he was lost. And then, near the front row reserved for distinguished guests, a sharply dressed father stood and quietly but firmly told Rowan those seats were not for people like him. He suggested Rowan wait outside. The words stung more than Rowan expected, not because he hadn't faced prejudice before, but because Myra's small fingers tightened around his. Her eyes, wide and confused, searched his face. In that moment, Rowan felt something fracture inside him. He had faced gunfire without flinching, but he could not bear the thought of his daughter feeling ashamed. He nodded politely, guiding Myra to the back row. He kept his head high, though his heart pounded like it used to before a mission. He told himself this day was about Myra, not about pride. He sat quietly as the principal took the stage, speaking about leadership, sacrifice, and the importance of community role models. Then the doors at the back of the auditorium opened. The rhythmic echo of polished shoes against tile drew every head around. A man in a crisp military dress uniform stepped inside, sunlight glinting off rows of medals. Conversations died instantly. The principal hurried forward, surprise etched across her face. The visitor was General Marcus Halbrook, decorated commander of the state's National Guard Division, invited as a surprise guest to speak about courage and service. The general's gaze swept across the room once and stopped. For a heartbeat, silence thickened. Then, in full view of the entire auditorium, General Halbrook straightened, raised his hand sharply to his brow, and delivered a flawless salute toward the back row. Every eye followed his line of sight to Rowan. The general's voice carried across the room, steady and filled with respect. He declared that the man seated in the last row had once been his commanding officer during a critical overseas mission. He said that Rowan Cade had led with integrity, saved lives under impossible conditions, and earned the loyalty of every soldier under him. He said that without Rowan's leadership, he himself would not be standing there today. A stunned hush fell over the audience. Rowan rose slowly, instinctively returning the salute. His face remained calm, but Myra stared at him as if seeing her father for the first time. Pride replaced confusion in her eyes. The same parents who had whispered now sat frozen, their assumptions unraveling under the bright clarity of truth. The general walked down the aisle and shook Rowan's hand firmly, thanking him publicly for his service. He then turned to the crowd and spoke about how heroes do not always wear suits or sit in the front rows. Sometimes they stand quietly in the back, raising children alone, fighting private battles no one sees. Tears shimmered in Myra's eyes as she wrapped her arms around her father's waist. Rowan knelt down, brushing a stray curl from her cheek. In that sunlit auditorium, he realized something powerful. Belonging isn't granted by strangers. It's earned by character. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to engage with this video. Like it, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. And before we end, I have a special request. Comment the word respect if you believe no one should ever be judged by appearances.